today we're going on a really cool bike ride. I'm here at the yoga studio, waiting on Carlos, as usual. No, just joking. He's been a really cool guy, but I'm not exactly sure even where we're gonna go today. Hopefully we'll go somewhere interesting, but we're gonna take you guys along, so whatever it is, it is. So you remember this guy?
Hola.
Carlos. What's up today, Carlos? Where are we going?
We don't know yet, but we figured it out on the way there.
All right, we're headed there now. All right, we're going up to Poblado, Paisa.
Pueblito Paisa.
Pueblito, Paisa. What do we need to know about this place? What's the story here?
Well, as far as I know, it is a replica of what a old town in Medellin used to look like. And it's very frequent by tourists, and it has a great view of the south side of Medellin. And let's hope it's open because it's pretty early on a Sunday.
We made it up here to the top, and as Carlos said, this is meant to be a little model of a traditional town here in Colombia. Paisa. Look at that tree. It's got like all sorts of thorns.
So it's supposed to be a replica of how Medellin towns used to look like.
Honestly, it looks a little bit like Jardín. The whole town of Jardín looks like this. So you can see it's kind of touristy. They got the little food stalls and trinket stores. And it does look similar to Jardín. So one of the little small towns.
I guess that's how Antioquia towns look like.
Antioquia. Oh, there's one of those kiskadis. I don't know if you guys can see it, but up in that tree right there, the top of that tree, is two green parrots. I hear them all the time here in Medellin, but I rarely see them. But that tree doesn't have any leaves on them, so they're just sitting right up there on top. Here are the pigeons. I think so. Oh, wow, that is a nice view. It's a good place. Come up and bring my drone. Look out, we were looking at your place.
We can see Poblado right there. Right, Poblado?
Yeah.
I never seen this view of the city.
All right, guys, so let me just give you a little context about where we're at. So that is Valedor down there. So our apartment would be down the hill here in Lorales. Carlos's house is up there on that hill, up beyond Valedor, and then City Centro is right over there, so you can see the tall buildings. So we're just right outside City Centro right there, and you can see how Medellin climbs right up the mountains. And then off in the distance would be where the cable car is up to Parque RV where we went before. So we're south of all that stuff, and we're kind of facing north here. In a lot of cities, you know, when you're up in the hills, that's the more expensive places, the ones with the view.
Yep. In Peru it's different. In Peru, when you live in the hills, you're poor. When you get to Peru, you understand why, because our hills are not as green as Medellin's. They look like, if you see
in Peru,
if you see a hill in Peru, in Lima, when you get there, you're gonna see that it looks like more like a Middle East hill, like Venezuela.
Oh, look at that. Oh, it's like a tasty breakfast.
That was a display plastic.
So this is a traditional breakfast. What is that?
Bandeja paisa.
Bandeja paisa. Bañeros, buñuelos, empanadas.
But I can take you to the place that sells the best buñuelos. I can take you to the place that sells the good empanadas. Right there.
Those houses right in front of us.
In that area, somewhere in that area, the 800 houses.
That's where Pablo Escobar built 800 houses for the poor people.
That's San Diego.
Oh, that's San Diego. We're not even that far. It's so close.
Right? Time I come and check this view, I see a new building in this area. It's like this area of the city is quickly developing, and you can see both classes coexisting together. This is
so the lower houses would be like a Stratus 1 or Stratus 2. Stratus 2.
We are aiming to a Stratus 4, 5 right here.
And Poblado is definitely Stratus 5. That's
5 and 6. Yeah.
5 and 6. Okay, so there's 6 Stratoses,
Yeah.
right? In Medellin, they have something called Estratos. Now, I've talked a bit about these before, but basically it's a socioeconomic scale. And it ranks properties or houses in different classes. And the Estratoses are 1 through 6. So the lowest class would be 1, and then 2 would be a little bit higher, 3 would be like a low middle class, 4 a middle class, 5 middle high class, and then 6 would be the highest class. Now these all have financial implications, and so the higher stratos properties actually pay more in rent, utilities, all the stuff, even the property rates and taxes are higher. And so if you live in Estratos 1 being the lowest, for example, your monthly utility costs for your cable, your phone, all that type of stuff might be about $25 per month. Now, if you're in Stratos 6, that's the same services are going to be more like $40 or $50 a month. The additional money is used to subsidize lower stratos.
This whole area right here is Barrio Antioquia and
Barrio Antioquia.
Barrio Antioquia.
Yeah.
And it's dedicated to drug selling. Every corner of this neighborhood has a line waiting for coke, weed, heroin, whatever they have everything there.
Wow, that's the neighborhood right there.
Right next to the airstrip. That's Barrio Antioquia.
Wow. It's this big building right here. See that long building?
This is Parque del Rio. This is right behind this building. There is this huge park with a museum and a place where they like play concerts, and you can go and chill with family there and picnic. And
so this is Poblado. All those big giant buildings.
That's Poblado.
And the big buildings just climb up the mountain, so it's kind of tough to walk around that area, isn't it?
The reason why there's so many buildings is because the people that live there, the majority of them, they own a car. So they don't walk there. You don't walk over there. Only like the people that work for them take public transportation. All of them drive, and they own 2 vehicles or 3 vehicles.
It's like the U.S.
Yeah. Like, there is like air pollution restrictions here. If your license plate ends in 5, you cannot go out. But since you live in Estratos 6, you have 3 vehicles. So if your vehicle is not allowed today, you just take the other one.
So we've been here so long in van life. Normally we're in a place 2 or 3 days and don't get the opportunity to sort of get to know a city, especially this size, as well as we do. But thanks to Carlos, I'm getting a real good lay of the land. And it's just beautiful coming up on these little mountain peaks or little hills and getting all these really cool vistas, and then learning about the little different neighborhoods and the little different parts of town. So we're going to continue to take you on. I'm not a city boy, but I am loving Medellin. What's your favorite thing about the city?
The weather.
The weather?
How cheap the cost living is in Medellin, and I guess the people. They're really kind.
I was talking to our personal trainer, and he said the typical month salary, and I think it's Stratos 3, is like $300 or $400 a month income.
And you can survive with that and you have a really good life.
Yeah, really good life on $300 or $400, yeah.
I live with $320 every month.
Wow.
Including rent and food and everything.
Wow.
It's really cheap. I love it.
The little village up here that they have, the mock village, is a little bit too touristy for me. You know, we've been in actual villages that the whole village looks like this, or the whole town. But wow, the views up here and even the nature, it's always so cool. And then look at the kitty cat. But definitely worth coming up here. Actually, I'm gonna come up here again. Look at this beautiful little kitty cat.
He has an owner. He's a good boy in this place, I guess.
Look at there. Hi. So here comes Carlos chugging up there. But we're up here in the hills, up in Poblado, and there's just a bunch of high rises. We kind of came through the area that has all the bars and restaurants, but you can definitely tell we're in a different stratus here. The buildings are much nicer. Everything really is much nicer.
You're good. They're very bike-friendly in this country. Whatever! I want to go and travel again, but I don't want to leave the rider. Go ahead. Like third world country life is amazing. I like it.
I know.
When you have a good salary.
Best anyway, it's the best for you.
You only eat red meat if you go out. Like you get a burger. So we go to the barbecue joint. Red meat.
I pegged you for a vegan.
What?
I pegged you for a vegan.
I love food. I'm only going to Mexico for the tacos. Remember I brought you here once?
Yeah, up this way.
They're hunting right now. You see the guns here? Like, we're in the heart of Poblado.
Here comes Carlos. Slow motion. Slow motion Carlos.
No cheating. That's not how I roll. I do it the old school.
Slow and steady. 2022. 2022. Happy New Year, bro. Ah! What's up, buddy? How you doing? Okay, we're on the hill in Poblado. Up behind me there is the fancy mall here in Poblado, the fanciest mall in Medellin. And you can see here we have beautiful vistas off there.
Yeah, but I want to show you something called Uva.
Grapes?
Yeah, but it's an acronym for.
It's not an acronym for grapes.
No, it's not.
Ova. Ah.
So,
A little
uva.
park. So this place is Uva?
Yeah, but in every high area of the city, EPM, the utility company in Medellin, builds an uva.
Oh, so it's like a little conservation area, park.
Well, for this area, which is Estratos 6, uva is directed, for example, this is a daycare.
Ah,
So they
daycare.
Right, so in this area, because it's a higher class, the UBA is designed to provide daycare for families that cannot afford it, right? But at the same time, they have a water reservoir down there.
Oh.
So if we go to a lower class neighborhood, they will also have an UBA. But the UBA is designed for like
Support the community in a different way.
like teach you how to be a carpenter.
Sure.
Teach you to
Maybe English skills.
English skills, computer skills.
Sure.
So they provide those services for people that cannot afford it.
But they're more specific to the area or region.
Right. So
And
they have an UBA in El Tesoro, which is like the nicest, the fanciest area. And the UBA, besides being a water reservoir, is also designed to provide daycare, education. There's something that there's some other offices down there.
So I read a lot about the transfer in Medellin, and one of the things they said they did was they put up cultural and learning centers around the city. So this would be an example of
social
that.
inclusion.
Yeah.
They want to, like, the reason why they build the cable cars is not only for a way of transportation, it's also to include the other areas to the development of the city.
Sure.
Right, so UBA is one of the, I guess, entities that show that social inclusion in Medellin. And I wanted to show you something down there.
Okay.
It's in UBA. Initially, there were water reservoirs, right? So they wanted to take advantage of the space around the water reservoirs. That's why they built those, in this case, the daycare for the families around here. As you can see, the neighborhood right here doesn't fit with the area.
Yeah.
As you can see, right?
Yeah.
So there's also poor people here, like Estratos 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So this is the water supply for this whole area. So every high up area of Medellin has an UBA. Like the one thing I love about Medellin is the social inclusion. Is part of like connecting everyone to public transportation, part of like having access to all of these places is because the city wants everyone to be a part of the development. That's why Medellin stands above all of the cities in Colombia from my point of view. That's why I love it so much. It's so nice.
I think it's one of the reasons how they're able to keep the crime down, right?
Yep.
Everybody has an investment in the beauty of the community.
Mm-hmm. And everybody loves their city.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a great place to bring your dogs out.
That's the airport right there. It's just a pedestrian bridge. No, there's a.
You can go back.
I got no brakes. Oh wow. Cool.
The train is gonna come out right now. I'm going underneath them. Right here.
skate park under here. You want to go up Las Cruces in the morning because there's no shade. It's all in the sun.
You can't even catch the
Or in the evening, catch the sunset.
landscape change?
Yeah. Yeah, this is better. A lot of activity. A little life going on.
This is my first walk outside, just to go on a walk with the cane. The other night when we went to eat dinner, I chickened out on the cane and had to take the walker. This time I made Curt bring the walker in case I get tired, but we're just going for a walk, guys.
Hola. Está bien.
All right, guys, we're winding down our very short walk. First walk with a cane. Baby steps, right? That's what y'all keep telling me. But I wanted to pop in here and tell y'all, I don't think I've really explained the whole range of motion thing to you guys. So when you go to physical therapy, they measure. They have this funky little tool, and they measure how far you can bend your knee. Your first goal is 90 degrees. I don't think I was quite there at the last hospital visit, but I've been doing a lot of work at home, and just from eyeballing it, Curt seems to think I'm beyond 90 degrees. So that is awesome, but you're gonna hear us talk more and more about these numbers. When I'm straightening my leg, I have to get to 0. That means I've got it as flat as it'll go. I'm probably at a 1 right now, and the ultimate goal is 120 degrees on bending your knee. But I will be happy, very happy, with 115, which is where about 80% of the people get to. So that way you kind of understand if you hear me and Curt throwing these numbers out over the next few weeks while the physical therapy is getting more intense. So hopefully the goal for me is at the next PT visit, I would like to be at 100. So we'll see next week. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you guys know when we put out new videos. And don't forget, you can always follow us over on Instagram to see what's going on in between videos. Cheers, guys!